Yo, 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 it's Thursday night. The boys are back in town. And it's the best night in car audio.
I mean, yeah, for the most part. I mean, I agree. Yeah. So, how you been?
Been good, man. Been
Yeah.
good.
How was
Yeah.
your week?
You know, busy.
Yeah.
That's there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the next show.
Oh yeah.
Non-cardio
Oh
stuff.
yeah. For sure. For
Like
sure.
a ton of stuff went on, but cardio stuff wise, the Trooper is gonna be in full rebuild.
Oh wow.
And I mean down to the wire. I'm pulling the wire. I'm going to put new wire in it, and we're just going to do the whole thing from scratch. So I do have visual aids. I have the
Nice.
products actually. So
Okay. Oh, where'd you find those?
these are some classics, man.
Yeah.
4-inch
Okay.
coaxials. Actually found those on the bay.
That's a good place for them.
Yeah. Then we got the components here.
Nice.
So that's going to be in the front and rear. Then we have this old gym.
Probably got that for a good price.
Yeah. I think it was $700. Not sponsored by Crutchfield, but that's where I buy from Crutchfield all the time. Like if I'm buying online,
Yeah.
I buy from Crutchfield.
Yeah.
For the most part. And then last, there's also a bunch of other assorted wires, but
Oh yeah.
got the T-Spec kit.
That's what, the 3 or the 4 or 8,000 or
this is the 1-aught AK1.
8K.
The V10 AK1.
Yeah.
So
it's the color of the RCAs. It's the giveaway.
It's the white ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the white. See,
those are nice kits, like, and they're reasonably priced.
Yeah, this was literally like $179 or $169,
which
that's obscene. Especially, I don't know if you guys seen, but 50% tariff on copper.
Oh, yeah.
I just seen that today, and I text Derek and I was like, I hope you got all the wire you need right now. I know you don't.
No,
you got it to last you till the next time you have to order it. You know,
it's never enough. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, copper's already super expensive, and it's just gonna get more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. When the wire costs more than electronics, that's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
it's a big.
Is there copper mines around here that I'm unaware of? I mean,
we have something. Hey, listen,
maybe
CCA, just CCA the world.
No, I mean, I'm not even like CCA is probably expensive too. Because I mean, what I'm saying is, do we have copper mines in the U.S. that we're not using? I mean, I feel like we don't, but I don't know. Maybe somebody knows.
Fire them up. Fire them up.
Yeah, no shit, right? Because, anyways, wow, yeah.
Yeah, so that I had to schedule that for some time, but yeah, full rebuild in the Trooper. We're gonna change the setup up. So
there we go. Utah has a very large copper mine.
There we go.
Fantastic. Let's start pounding them out of Utah. Let's just level that stage. I'm answering the question. You're SQ for sure. Dean will hate this, but I'm SQ loud. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, so I was listening to the Car Stereo Talk.
Okay.
And it made me think that, are we SPL or are we SQ guys?
So is this the rabbit hole, or how far we're put? Which is this the last show that we just put up? Or was it the show?
Yes, the rabbit hole. The rabbit. Oh, okay. No. It was because I listened to both of them during the time we're gone, so it might have been the other one. But what it made me think is this.
Yeah,
I consider myself an SQ guy, but every SQ car I sit in, just about, I'm pretty disappointed with the bass output because they'll have like an 18 or a 15-inch subwoofer with 1,500 watts, and you can barely hear it.
Yeah,
and they're trying to play at subsonic frequencies and all that. And secondly, never in my life outside of a SQ competition have I sat in a vehicle like this with my head back and my eyes closed to listen to it outside of SQ competition. So I think that might disqualify me.
And that's awesome. You know, I don't know where I fall on this. I like this. Oh, Jesus Christ. So all right. A lot of us are older. We've been doing this a really long time, and I always revert back to what got me into this. And I liked bass. I like
Yeah.
bass is it. I had 2 tweeters, I had 2 subwoofers. That was it. And after that, it was like I've had 15s, I've had 10s, 12s, multiple 10s. And I like bass. I like the impact of bass, but I also like, as I grew into it, the vocal and hearing that side of it was like, I remember the first pair of 6.5s I got. There were a pair of JBL GT6 something 6.5s, and I had never had a speaker that big in my car, other because it was always subs and like 5.25s and tweeters and shit. And when I first heard that sound, I was like, "Holy shit, that's a whole nother, like, I didn't know that existed. Like, wow, I like totally blew my mind because, you know, up until then it was like headphones. You know, who remembers '80s headphones? You know, basically just piezo's that it's like it sucked.
Mhm.
So, you know, actually hearing mid range or mid bass for the first time, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then the next car, the first car, the real car I built had 2 6-inch Morel mid bass in the door. You know, so it was 2 6-inch mid bass, the 6-inch mid range, and a tweeter, 2 tweeters, 1 tweeter, 2 tweeters, 2 tweeters, because they're silk soft tones, and 110 in a bandpass, of course, because I still wanted to get the most out of it. But so I feel that the current changed, and it was like bass wasn't as important as hearing a full gamut of sound. Now,
Right.
not to the regard like I'm like, ooh, that's too strong. I still want the most bass I can get. And I get the SQ loud thing. I understand. I just want really good loud sound.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to I just don't want to classify it
What I feel like,
because it's how I've always been doing it.
and just knowing the kind of things you like and the kind of things I like, I feel like we're in between these groups.
Yeah.
Like, we enjoy bass and it's fun, but most of the systems at SPL competition,
Oh, it's too much.
I would never want to listen to that as an everyday vehicle.
No,
Ever.
no. I
Um,
think it's fun and it puts a smile on my face.
yeah, it's fun. It's like a little amusement ride, and
Yeah.
it's,
It tickles my butt. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas
that was
SQ in full, now here's the difference. Like, when you do the SQ, and it's like, hey, let me listen to what you listen to versus the competition tune. And the competition tune is what it is for it's different for every organization a little bit.
right.
And that is not the sound I particularly like. Although I'm not saying that I like the best sound. That's arguably the accurate sound and what people are looking for, because everyone has agreed that this is how it's supposed to sound.
I don't
So
think
that,
everyone's agreed. I think those guys have agreed.
yeah, well,
Because
the organizations,
majority of the customers don't want anything like that.
yeah,
You know, they just want to get in the car and be like, "Oh, damn!"
I
You
don't
know,
need to hear
they
like
want
a
highs in
second
your eyes
breath.
and bass in your face.
Yeah,
You know, so they want, you know, because if, you know, if flat was amazing, we would never. I'd be out of a job,
yeah,
because most cars come with a pretty flat, basic, lifeless sound, and they want dynamic. They want impact. They want to feel this music happening over them, and they want to be part of it. Is what I can surmise. So, you know, to say like, I guess, you know, when we go to a bass head competition, it's fun, it's exciting, as Matthew Palumbo says, it makes me laugh. And when I took him out to hear Gately's stuff 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, he just giggled the whole time. It was freaking hilarious. He's just laughing his ass off because it's the funniest thing in the world. He'll be on the show Wednesday. Segue, right? But then when we go to these sound competitions and you sit in these cars, it's almost the same effect. It's like, okay, this
yeah.
is cool. I like, yeah, good job. I mean, this is fantastic, but it's not anything. I don't want to have this, and I don't want to have that.
Yeah, you want a
So
little bit of both.
can we come up with something that doesn't have SQ or loud in it, and just its own? Because if I feel like if we have to come up with a term to classify what the middle is, it needs its own name. You know what I mean?
Regular guy audio.
Regular guy audio works, but I mean, I just tickles it tickles the behind.
Well, I will say, and I can't, Justin, you might remember his name, but he has the Dodge Ram pickup. He does run
215s,
right, or 18s maybe.
yeah, whatever, free airs in the back,
and free air, and dude, it was that had some like I was like, listen, play me what you not competition, play me what you play on this.
yeah.
And it was that was I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Like I like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was like Miguel's car. When Miguel played it, he drove up to the shop when he still had it, and he played. He's like, "You've never heard Morels like this," and I was like, "Probably not." And he ripped that up, and I was like, "God damn, turn that down, bro!" Like, dude, that's unhinged. RLL. Okay,
there you go.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Brian Mitchell's vehicle. You turn up the bass on it, dude, and it's gonna do a little something with the volt. It's gonna.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna feel it. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's literally right there.
For those of you guys that were wondering who the guy, like when Brian and I did the live podcast, and the guy that I was like harassingly hitting on just to have fun and make him uncomfortable because he's like your size.
Yeah.
He's big guy. Is Austin right there? He was a good sport, but he could squish me.
Yeah. There you go. The second guy that we like to make fun of is also Chris.
I actually so I got a new printer. So I was on, that's why I was like running right on time, because I got Bamboo is having a fantastic deal on printers this last week, and like dirt cheap. It was ridiculous. So I bought a fourth one, and good times, I know, with an Amos, which is the 4 thing on top, and gave the other one to Fernando. So now all of us, we all have our own printers, 2 at work, and everyone's happy. And I got it right before I went on vacation, so it's been sitting in the living room or sitting in the office. And I needed to get it up and working because I have some stuff I need to print. And so I had to call Chris because it had the new top piece that I didn't have. So I was like, okay, man, I don't want to watch YouTube videos. I just want somebody to say, put plug here, put plug there, and let me get this fricker running, because I just, so yeah, that was that. But yeah, no, Chris was very helpful. We should call him the Butcher now.
The Butcher.
The Butcher.
The Butcher.
The Butcher. Which could mean different things depending on what industry he's in.
Yeah.
Technically, he is a butcher, but he does work at Best Buy.
Ooh,
I know, right?
Oh man, damn.
I know.
We can go down that road today, but
no, I don't mean it. I'm just saying. I would never. He does great work, but I'm just saying that's one of those things where it's like, what does that mean?
Well, and I can't listen.
I'll pet you.
I almost got Chris killed walking through the homeless encampment situation. We didn't realize, and hey, we made it through nonetheless.
RLL. I really think Austin's onto something. I'm really digging that. Real life listening. RLL.
RLL Stein.
Yeah. No. Let's not go there.
Oh man.
AMS, whatever. AMOS, AMS. It's all the same, bro. It's an acronym. I suck at them.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was the funniest thing. So this week, we have an LED kit that we got, and it's like PMR. What is it? PMR something, and good friend of mine, and PMR modified, right? Yes, PMR modified. And I'm like, we get them, and we're talking about them. They're going to go in Fernando's car, and we're like, what the hell does PMR stand for? And I was and then but Addo was doing a show, and he's like, it stands for Pimp My Rides.
Is it really?
Yeah, because he was on Pimp
Pimp
My
My Ride?
Rides.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
he was one of the installers on Pimp My Rides.
Well, he wasn't. What's the
He's
guy?
not Cabe.
Mike.
Mike. Yeah, Mike.
Is
Not
that who
Mad
it
Mike.
is?
Not the Mad Mike, but no,
Not
that's
Mad Mike. Oh, okay.
no. But Jason Ewing. So you had Jason Ewing, Cabe, and Mad Mike. They're
Yeah.
all on Pimp My Rides. And so PMR modified was Pimp My Ride. I was like, what a dumbass. How did I not figure that one out? But they're awesome hits.
It's like when Orion did the West WCC, the West Coast Custom Amps.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. I'll make a shirt. You could. Dude. That guy's a mean, like he can sew.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, because he was into upholstery before he was into car audio. So it's like
damn.
He was talking about like, oh, we're gonna do this, and he's pulling off the center console, and he's gonna stitch a new center console, and you're just like,
so he's like living in the real world where real people spend money to do real things.
Well, he works at Titan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he does good stuff.
Yeah.
Rob, forgive you for almost getting me killed. Well, I mean, I think on that trip, which was World Finals, I think we almost killed Chris many times.
We did leave him behind without realizing, but Nando was.
Yeah, Fernando picked up. Yeah, short legs on both accounts. But I was like, yeah, but yeah. And then we were walking up a hill. We went like 3 blocks. He was not happy with us. We made up for Brian.
The turbo in to keep up with us when we were going to the house, the after party night.
Yeah. And then you bought the obscenely large amount of chicken wings.
Oh, dude. The funniest part of that is Chris literally, he didn't eat nothing that morning because he was doing the road trip and he didn't want to chance it. Smart move. Yeah. But also, he didn't eat nothing up into that point.
Yeah.
So, dude, Chris is not a small guy. He was hungry.
Yeah.
It was
murder, walking up murder. Yeah, we almost killed him. I mean, he could have gone into some form of a coma. We'd been like, where'd Chris go?
Yeah,
he solved that shit. He drove everywhere after that.
Because I'm going. He was like, no, I'm not doing.
I'm only going 10 feet. I'm going to get my car.
Yeah, I'll park it under the venue.
Yeah, that was fun. So Steel Valley Regionals is coming up, I think, next weekend.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to SVR.
Well, so the Brian Mitchell he leaves Sunday to head out, so he'll be there. And I'm like, oh my god, this is like the 5th time this year driven across the country. You're insane. So he leaves Sunday, and then Thursday I leave to go to Arizona to go to Mobile Solutions. So Wayne Harris they're doing a box class. It's still a couple seats available if anybody wants to get out to Arizona. So Wayne Harris is going to be doing box stuff. Sage is going to be there teaching you how to build amazing boxes. There's another Gary, which I can never remember his last name. Not one of the other Garys. This is their 3rd Gary. He'll be there. I have no idea what his portion of it is. And then I'll be standing in the background.
Does his last name start with B? Because we got what? Gary Biggs, Gary Bell?
It's no B. It's no
B. Okay, well, I mean, we might have. I thought we had the 3 GB. No.
He does like hot rods and wiring and hot rods and stuff like that. And he also does a lot of testing. Like he has a dyno, but he also has the real machine.
Yeah.
That one.
And
yeah. So
everyone knows what we're talking about. I just can't think of it either.
Yeah, he does. He does actual like legit testing for manufacturers. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I've never been to just a Mobile Solutions training. I've always been to the Orca trainings, Audio Precision. Thank you, Chris. So it'll be interesting to see the difference between an Orca training and a Mobile Solutions. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
because orca trainings generally I'm working my ass off. It's like I just want to I want to hang out with everybody else. No, you're gonna work. Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Dude, all
so
the custom fab stuff is so cool, and I think it's awesome. But I would never. I don't, because I just change shit too much
yeah,
to like do a set install for this particular speaker or subwoofer or whatever it is.
right.
It's
Well, yeah, I mean, in there again for us, like in Fernando's car, it's trying to make it so it's as universal as possible.
yeah,
You know, like when we put the tweeters in the top, we made that universal mount so that we can easily just pull that out, cut a new piece, pop it into place. What's up, man? So those, so that's kind of how we do it. And like he wants, if we do he wants to do a 3-way set, which makes sense, and that'll be there again something that we can probably do multiple. Like take this out, take like the tweeter out, or take the mid out.
Yeah.
We're going to design something that can be swapped, which adds a whole nother level of like, oh Jesus, So,
yeah.
but yeah, then this weekend there's a sound competition here at this place called OTS. So Jeff will be in town for that, and then he's going to stay on to Monday so that he can come on the show and talk about the new software that Helix just released.
Oh, that's right. He's working with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have him on to talk about that, because I am not proficient in the Helix world. So there's way too many little silly things that don't make sense to me. So
yeah,
it's like just bring in a guy that knows all this shit. I don't want to screw with it.
yeah.
So we'll bring him in, and he can educate us all, and then we'll be like, oh, cool. So the OTS thing is Sunday morning. So yeah. So I might go. I want to go, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see what's going on. If I get up early, I usually wake up early on Sunday, but we'll see. Anyways, so what else do we got? Should we talk about the SQ or SPL guys, or should we just?
We can whatever you got going on. So audio control.
Yes,
like their DSP software. I really have very minimal experience with it, if any
it's
at
okay.
all.
It's not hard,
Right, which is great because the Trooper is not an SQ vehicle. It's but I'll never have a vehicle outside of the Jeep right now that doesn't have some kind of DSP, because I just want control over it, even if it's not SQ. I want to be able to have left right control, have some sort of advanced EQ over a head unit and time alignment, of course. Those are key things like tonality. It can't be all coming out of the right or the left. You want some sort of imaging.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah, whether it's a 2-seat tune that you're trying to do, or if you're just doing it for yourself. I mean, there has to be something. Otherwise, it's tough.
Well, otherwise, it's just like, it's funny because Brian and I were talking about that, and I don't think we've done a show on it. We may have. It's hard to remember anymore. But the phrase where people go, "Oh, I'm not a position guy. I'm more of a tonality person."
Yeah.
And Brian immediately goes, "How can you be a tonality person if it's not aligned properly? The tone is going to be off." Like there's no. It's like, what? It sounds good coming from the left side of the car. I mean, no, it's wrong. And I'm just like, dude, chill out. It's okay, man. No, it's not okay. I mean, because you got phase issues happening. It's not sounding good. You don't even know what sounds good at that point. I'm like, okay, nerd, chill out. Take your Ritalin. Just ease up. And, And there again, he's not wrong. It's just,
Right.
I always got to play the devil's advocate with him because there has to be two sides to it or it's no fun. We both agree on the same shit, then I mean, we do, but somebody has to.
What most
Has
new
to
vehicles account for that in some form or fashion. They have, all pass filters or something.
Mhm.
Back in the 90s, it was just speaker placement. So it could be extremely horrible depending on what vehicle you got. And some could
Believe it
be
or
great.
not, Toyota's been using all pass filters since the 90s.
Well, see. So they've been rocking it out, but
Yeah.
there's been some pretty terrible vehicles with pretty terrible speaker placements. There's still
Oh, yeah.
today terrible speaker placements, but they're trying to alleviate that.
Rob, have you seen Fred's SQ curve from ARC? It's on DNF tool drawer. Shameless plug. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
Go if you go to DNF tool drawer, then go to I think the meters page. Austin actually got me the copy of this because Fred didn't, even though I asked him to. So Austin sent it to me. He goes, I called and had him send it to me. And I go, well, he likes you apparently. So I had Fred send it to me because it's a really good house curve. Easy to set up, easy to follow. Fred's really good at that kind of stuff. So if we scroll down to
Meters and probes.
yeah,
Okay.
let's go to the bottom of the page, and there you go. So that is the what frequency the instruments play at, and then if you keep going all the way to the bottom, there you go. So there's your Fred house curve.
Hey, that's the curve I go for. Typically, like the JBL curve, they roll off the tweets at the end, and I do not like that. I like just a hair up like this. Yeah, I think I like that curve.
What did we say? RLL.
There you go.
There you go.
Real life listeners.
Real life listeners. That's a real life listener target curve right there.
And this is, I would say, the kicker curve. They bump up probably. They're up here, and then they do roll off their mids a little bit though, or not their mids, their tweet at the end. So,
speaking, Brian knows we're talking about him.
He heard. You should have answered live. You're on air.
No, because we would no. Not gonna do that. So I am all right. So my home system is comprised of an audio control home receiver that when Alex owned audio control, he gave me. Prior to that, I've had several Pioneer home receivers, but this is a big one. I have all outboard amplifiers. So everything is powered off of 3 different amplifiers. The front stage is 3 identical cabinets from Morel that have a big tweeter, big horn tweeter, or big panel, big flat panel tweeter, dual magnet, soft dome, a 6.5-inch mid range that's a horn. It's a dome. It's hard to explain, and then a 9-inch mid bass. So there's 3 of those across the front. Custom crossovers that we had made for them because the ones Morel had sucked back then. 2 12s and band passes for subwoofer, and then the rear is just some in-wall crap in the top of the ceiling that I haven't really gotten around to doing anything with because previously I had 4 6.5s for the rear fill, but now it's just some stuff in the ceiling that I need to make new ones for at some point, but I don't care because it's just background noise.
So are you just a geez, are you a 5.1 7.1 setup? Like what's the setup?
I guess that would be a 5.1. I don't have front effects channels, rear effects, side side channels and all that crap. I just have a lot of front. You know,
A lot of
a
front.
lot of,
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
front,
that's
a lot
the
of
way to go.
bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no on the soundbar thing. But yeah, it's so if I'm just doing 2-channel audio, like if I want to do 2-channel audio, then it's fantastic. Most of the time I'll just run it with one subwoofer, but if I'm doing 2-channel audio, I'll turn on both subwoofers. The nines put out a ton of bass, so like we can run it without those and not piss my wife off. But lots of power. So yeah,
There you go.
and it's never off. It's as soon as the TV turns on, the whole system turns on. So it's never not been full surround.
There you go.
So
That's how we are
because
too. Full surround, soundbar surround all the time.
yeah, no. So that was why Haley, when she heard the Bose system, and she was like, she's like, Dad, was that supposed to sound good? I was like, sorry, kiddo, I jaded the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Geez, Dean, no wonder you said Brian's home audio sucked. It does. It does. He's
Yeah.
He has 2-channel home audio, and I'm just like, you can't watch movies without a center channel. I don't care. You just can't do it,
Yeah.
And he's like, but he does have 2 sets of the classic Sterling Vega towers over in the corner.
There you go.
And I'm like, damn.
Well, for the longest time, I had the Kef Q8s for my desktop setup. That was my listening, my 2-channel listening. I've always had terrible home theater stuff.
So Austin has 7.1 1080 screen or soundbar and sub with a 4K screen if you had to choose. So I want a good screen. To me, the screen is, as I get older and I can't see, the screen is definitely the nicest part of it. The funny thing is and the other thing too is I'm really slow when it comes to adopting a good screen. So I was like the last guy to get rid of CRT, and I was the last guy to get rid of plasma. I sucked. I was like, I rocked those things until the very end. And then one day Haley's like, Dad, we really need a new TV. And I said, okay. So we went to Best Buy, and we stared at TVs for hours, and we just both agreed that this is a headache. They had a 65-inch, and we're like, all right, let's think about this some more, because I was getting ready to buy the Samsung 8000 or 9000 series TV, and because the blacks were so black and the colors were so vivid, I'm like, okay, we're gonna be watching cable and Apple TV. That's it. Okay, so let's think about this some more. So then one day we walked into BJ's, which is like a Costco or something like that.
Warehouse store, yeah.
And it was like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We were both just standing there like this. And then we'd shift to the next one and we'd be like,
mm-hmm.
And then we go back to the other one and we're like, this one, which turned out to be like an 80 something.
Right.
And I go, yeah, that looks fine. It just slid into Sue's car, and there was no room for me. We couldn't even close the back door, so I laid underneath it in the car and held it into place in the car as we drove home.
Oh my
Which
God!
Haley thought was the funniest thing in the world, because I only live like 5 minutes from the place, so it was just a short drive. Yeah. And then we opened it up and we brought it in the living room. We're like, oh, we should have measured.
Yeah.
This is a lot bigger once you get it home.
We hold our TVs for so long. I'm even when they're expensive, I would pay a little more for a quality TV for the same reason. We had an LG before, it was a 55-inch.
Yeah.
We had it like 10 or 12 years, 1080 still. We switched to another LG, the LED, whatever it was model, but 75-inch, which seemed huge for like 2 weeks. Now it's just normal size.
Yeah.
So it's like, it seemed for a while, I was like, oh yeah, this is huge. But now it's like, I kind of wish we had a 100-inch now.
Yeah. But, yeah. That's Brian's dream, is to have a 100-inch.
Yeah.
We had to get rid of the plasma because it was small.
Yeah.
And it was just getting hard to watch on like because our living room is really deep,
Right.
and it wasn't when the previous house we were in, so it's really deep, and it was like it was just getting it was getting hard to enjoy. Um, so now it's funny because he says he had a pair of 6x9 DX Kicker 6x9s and all that. Um, when I worked at AVE before I worked at Five Star, my boss was building his theater room, and he's like, uh, I was the fabricator, so he came to me and he's like, "Here's what I want." And he gives me this drawing. So there are these end walls that we made that had two 6x9s, and at the time we had Diamond Audio 6x9s. So there's an array of Diamond Audio 6x9s throughout the house
Yeah.
or throughout the theater room. And then for subwoofers, there's four R type 12s and band passes
Yeah.
that are so the way the house was built, we dropped the band pass. I hope they never blow because he's fucked. We dropped the band pass box, and the port was like an opening right below the screen. There's enough room there so it wouldn't wobble the screen, but it was just this thing, and made grills and all that other crap. And that was his home theater. And of course, I ran all the wiring and all that. And he had bought a bunch of like Carver real shit to run the power, and it was loud. It was loud. It was really loud. So,
I mean,
but
that's that's what he wanted.
yeah.
Ooh.
Is it possible to add amp subs to JBL 2020 Toyota Avalon? There should be an amp pro for that. 2020 Avalon should have an amp pro, pack amp pro. Yeah, I would there should be a pack. If it's a 2020, I don't see why they wouldn't have an amp pro.
No.
And you just get RC outputs. That would be, that'd be a hell of a lot easier than dealing with ANC and key lock and all that other nonsense. Just plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it in. Yeah, I mean, I'm so used to 4K. I remember for the longest time. So Pioneer Elite plasmas, were the best TVs you can get for like 20 years.
Oh my god, yes.
And those things were sick, but they were expensive. God, they were expensive.
Man, that was the downfall of Pioneer. That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, and I think like the 40 something inch might have been like 8K or something like that.
Yeah,
not 8K resolution, $8,000
money. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a good time. Those are really nice. Well, that was the thing. Plasmas had really good color compared to LEDs. When LEDs first came out, the color sucked.
Yeah, because they didn't have enough LEDs in them, and it was like you couldn't darken enough, and yeah.
But I mean, for the amount of TV I get to watch, like I get to watch TV like one day a week.
Yeah.
So compared to everyone else in the house who gets way more TV time than me, and they don't care. So
yeah.
But I just kind of sit back and go, yay, and then that's that. I remember when I got my first TV in the car. That was pretty exciting because it was just it was funny. So it was a 5-inch raw screen that we were selling. And I had a Dodge Ram at the time, so I molded it into the little map pocket at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I put a I guess a DVD player, really crappy. That's all they sold back then. And we watched Jaws. That was what Haley wanted to watch. We just watched Jaws. And she'd just sit there in a little car seat like this.
The first one I had was a flip down, like a 5 or a 7-inch in a 2003 Chevy Silverado crew cab. And it was up where you put it where the dome light was. And I forget, it was some cheap model. I don't even think they make them anymore. But they made stereo stuff too. It wasn't like Pyramid, but it was a brand like that. It wasn't Pyramid. And I mean, hey, they came with little headphones, and the kids, they loved it at the time.
Yeah, I never cared about any of that. It was always like Sue's car had a drop down screen in it that I put in. But I always had a truck.
Yeah.
So I just had a TV in the dash, and she sat right in the middle.
Yeah.
And so she could just watch that. Because back then, Ken would have the P907, which had TV tuners and DVD player, and that actually had 5.1 surround in it. That didn't last.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun, you know. And then I didn't anymore because I got no. I guess I had that for a long time.
Well, like once iPads came out, it's like all that was like no one cares about that anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't put a TV in a car in ages. And
Yeah,
when people
why
come
would
and
you
ask
need
me
it?
like I had a guy come in, he's like, I want to put a flip down in this. I go, how many kids you got? He's like 3.
Get
So
them
they're all
iPad.
going to watch the same thing? I mean, are they
Yeah.
all like 2 years apart? I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be at least somebody in the back seat that don't want to watch that. So
Mhm.
they don't have phones? Do they not have iPads? Yeah. Okay, then why do you need me to cut a hole in your ceiling? Like,
Yep.
I mean, I'm up for the challenge. Sure, I haven't done it in a while. Let's get silly.
Alex
But
should have took it to Stu's. They still got a 10-inch.
oh no, trust me, we still probably have all of it in stock. Paul's got all that crap.
Yeah.
You know, headrests and it's
I mean,
like
headrest TVs were big. I remember those as well.
oh, we used to do 3 or 4 TVs a week, whether in so it was like drop downs or headrests. I mean, we were banging those things out all day long. Like we had a system that I had a system that I developed for mounting them that made things like streamlined, and that's why I bought my first air riveter because at the time Rosen was making an overhead specifically for Land Rover.
Yeah.
And then they started selling it aftermarket, and they had an install video. And up until then, it was just every man for himself figure out how to put this in. I mean, there's literally guys just drywall screwing it into the foam core, roof things, or sliding in a piece of plywood, and it's like, God. So they had a video of how to install it, and it was like because they had these giant metal brackets that were made to get mounted into the ceiling. It was like, how do you do that? And they were riveting them in, cross members, bracing, riveting. I was like, huh. And they had an air riveter, and I was like, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So went and bought an air riveter, and after that, man, we were going to town. We had system. We had a dude that got his car broken into, and they tried to steal his overhead. And all he did was kind of bend the metal bracket. They could not get it out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
I had a similar thing happen with a radio. It was a Sony ES C90, so a really nice radio back in the day. Screen sucked then, sucks now. But at the time, I was like, oh, this was a really high end piece.
Mm-hmm.
I backstrapped it. The main reason I did that is so the CDs wouldn't skip. So I had backstrapping material on the back and on the sides, so they couldn't get it off. So they just decided to take the faceplate. When they stole everything else and the faceplate, like, come on, guys, you got everything else.
Yeah, backstrap. Oh God.
And they cut the speakers. Like that's just petty. Like you got the stuff. Get the stuff you can get.
I always thought it was funny when people come in and back then and they'd be like, "Oh, and I want a strap connecting the back of the radio to something in the dash," and you just kind of look at them and go, "You want a what?" Yeah, I want it to be in there nice and tight. So I go, and how am I supposed to do that? Is there some place I can get my hand in behind your radio and do that from? I mean, look at your dash, dude. Like,
you got to take the whole dash apart to do it.
Like, no,
Yeah.
Well, you could. Okay, listen. If you've got a way to do it, come in the back. Here's my tools. You figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, this was so in true bass head fashion. I had a high end head unit for nothing. Basically, nothing was active running on there. It was just a nice head unit, and I thought in my bass head mind, the more the unit costs, the less likely it probably is to skip. Only to find out that Sony always skipped more than anything else, anyways.
Yeah, everybody used the Sony transport.
Yeah. So, which is why I ended up having to backstrap it because you have I at the time had a system in there. It was like 155 decibels,
and that's like, why the Alpine 7909 was
exactly
shit. and it
But
was like
I wasn't hip to
$1,000.
that at that
Yeah,
time.
it was
That's the problem.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the first time I went into debt.
Yeah.
I had to take out a loan to buy one of those.
Yep.
My mom was
Yep.
like, "Yeah, go for it."
Well, it's like if you don't know, you you don't
Yeah.
know, because we didn't have a big Alpine dealer. They were like
Right.
a secondary brand. So it was Clarion, Eclipse, Sony, and Kenwood. And Kenwood at that time was kind of seen as like a low end brand, even though they had the Excel on stuff at that time as well. Just in this area, I don't know.
Well,
If
yeah,
that's true.
yeah, because it like we didn't do Pioneer in the beginning. Like we did Clarion. We had Clarion and Denon, and the Denon didn't do well because Denon was just rebranded Sony stuff.
Yeah.
As far as transports went, so they skipped. So Clarion's didn't skip.
Yeah.
So we leaned into Clarion until that went away, and then we finally got Alpine, and then we ended with we did Alpine for a really long time, and then it was Alpine and Kenwood, and then we just started doing more Kenwoods because people were liking the Kenwood's displays and they were doing cool things, and then that really kind of upset Alpine because back then they were very numbers driven, and so if you're
Yeah.
not hitting your numbers, they're like, you suck. And so we sucked, and so we got rid of Alpine, or they got rid of us, and we really leaned hard into Kenwood, and then we got Pioneer, so it was Pioneer and Kenwood.
Right.
And it was funny too because we fought Pioneer. The owner fought having Pioneer forever. Like, he didn't want anything to do with it. And I'm like, that. I mean, for a long time, that was my mentality, just because that's what I was brought up on.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to be like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's what you want, go for it. Because Paul's like that. What do you want? Oh yeah, we got that. Oh, you want a Sony? Here's a Sony. You want an Alpine? Here's an Alpine.
Yeah.
You want a Pioneer? I got one of those. It's like he never ask the next question. Why do you want that?
Yeah.
Well, I saw this. Okay, well, you saw this thing and it was wrong. You should have this one. Why?
Well,
Because it's better.
what's crazy to me is that in this amount of years, it's completely flipped. And in my opinion, like, Kenwood makes the best head units out right now, in my opinion. The ones, as far as like the average, I mean, Sony, yes, makes a couple of nice ones. But I don't know. I like the Kenwoods.
Yeah, no, and there again, it's the head unit business is messy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a combination of lazy and trying to most of it's just lazy. It's just trying to squeak out whatever they can before it all ends. And direct replacement is definitely a good place to go. Like, that's definitely the future.
Yeah.
However, we're gonna have to wait and see, because I almost feel like, even though it's an iData project, PAC and Metra, or at least Metra, is going to have to get involved at some point.
Yeah.
Because it's just iData just can't handle the amount that's needed, and that's what's going to kill us on that. It's like we kind of need a lot of pieces, so we need to move this along. And I mean, there again, we're only 6 months into it, so not even 6 months, like 4 months into it.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and we're already starting to see some problems, not with the product, but just standard problems. It's like,
right.
You release something that's supposed to work with 200 different vehicles, or 2,200 different vehicles. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. And so, but the units are fantastic. And
yeah, they're cool. I got to get hands on with them.
I think once people start getting their hands on them and realizing what that is they can do with them, we'll start to see a lot more applications for them. Because it's like, it doesn't work on any Toyotas. Yes, it actually works on a Toyota. It's just there's no mounting hardware for it, so you got to make your own mounting hardware. Well, okay, well, you got a 3D printer, figure it out. You know, or you got a laser, figure it out, or you got a cutting board, figure it out. You know, I think that's that's one of those things that'll make or break it. You know, so
Well, and most cars are going like the way of my Jeep. Right now, if that unit goes bad, I have to get another one. I mean,
right, but
okay.
that's a DIN size though. That 12-inch screen that's in your Jeep,
Yeah.
it's the same size screen that's in a Kia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, same size screen. It's in a Kia. It's in a Mercedes.
Yeah.
That's a universal size. That 12-inch size is a DIN size. So it's not really anything for Kenwood to build that, but it's the talking part that's the problem.
Right.
And so getting these manufacturers to be like, hey, we can do this, and actually put the effort into it that's needed, as opposed to worrying about keyless entry systems and remote starts. That's where we're at, you know, because it's like they make a ton of money off of those because they sell the units too. So it's like, even though you look at it and go, how much are you making off of that? They're making a lot because they're making the unit and they're making the interface. Whereas in this genre, they're just making the interface. And so somebody else is getting the lion's share of it. So convincing them to move more support in that is not going to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see.
It's gonna be tougher for DIY guys like myself. The further time goes along, and the less availability of these older vehicles to do installs in. And sometimes you're gonna have to, at some point, you're gonna have to work with a pack piece and work with something other than what you're used to. Like line output converters aren't going to do it at some point.
Well, yeah, and there again, I line output converters aren't the answer right now. I mean, it's, you know, but dude, it's still get the same thing. I mean, you still get, oh, you know, hey, I got a Dodge, I want to put an LC7i in there. It's like, dude, no. Like, the guy the other day was asking about, you know, I'm going to put an LC7i in this. I'm like, you've got like 15 speakers. 7 channels or 6 channels. What are you gonna do with 6 channels? Like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
you know, there isn't 6 channels in that car that'll give you the sound that you need to make what you're trying to do happen. You know, plus what you're gonna like. No, it's like it doesn't even make sense at that point.
What in my specific situation, I got so lucky because I have the base model system. I have full range signal going up to the dash, so 2 wires to a kicker key 500, and I got bass.
Yeah.
So
you don't have great bass, but you got bass.
Yeah, I got it's actually more than most of the people at the SPL competition. rolling that back in there.
Bro, that was such a rib. Damn. Maple Eclipse head unit or preamp only. Yeah.
Those are cool.
They were.
Until you got locked out of them and you didn't have the original code. Then that wasn't so fun or cool.
Yeah.
Fujitsu 10.
Stu, I'm with you. I would love to see software solutions. You know, the thing is okay, so here's the thing that annoys the shit out of me, right? Because you look at it's like it makes no sense. Okay, so you have car manufacturers, they know people are going to modify the cars. Like when you buy your Jeep, you look at your battery terminal. Your battery terminal has open ports for you to put shit on it. Okay? They know you're going to do it. Okay? They know you're going to do it, so they give it to you. Like, okay, listen, know that we are going to modify these cars and put better audio in it because your audio sucks.
Yep.
Okay? ANC, those should be things that are turned off through the radio. Like if I don't want that, I should be able to just go boop and it's off. Okay? Yep. It makes no sense that from a car manufacturer's point of view, I don't even know why you would think that makes sense to not have an off switch in the radio. Okay? It doesn't even it's like, are you guys that fucking stupid? Okay? Yeah. Not only that, you look at it and go, why would you make it so like, okay, fine, you want to make it hard? Why? What is the point of making it hard? Give us an out. Give us Give us a toslink output, just like a TV manufacturer. Every TV has a toslink output on it. Okay, every one. So just put a toslink on the back of your radio and call it a day. It's stupid. The whole car automotive industry is designed around, oh, it's our intellectual property. Fine. Keep it your intellectual property. Give us an easy output for it so that we can do our job, which is make your car sound better, and we'll all be happy. And then we won't have to fuck with your intellectual property. We won't have to do anything. We just plug in and we're done. But now we can't do that, so we got to wait for all these, nerdy people to figure out how to interface into this shit.
Well, the bad part about it is I was arguing for many years, and I still think it's the case, that most factory systems nowadays sound way, way better than the old ones. That being said, the stock factory Jeep system, the non-Alpine, sounds like absolute garbage because there's not one tweeter in the whole thing. Plenty of mid-bass,
right?
So much so from the factory that it rattles like hell. It was the worst I'd heard.
Oh yeah, stop start is annoying as hell.
Dude,
that's another one.
Oh my god,
that's another one that should be a permanent off. Like,
yeah,
I just don't understand. I understand. I just don't like the fact that there's. I mean, that's the American way, but I mean, it's just the way the world works. Is that there's some idiot at the top that's going, "This is what's good for everybody."
Yeah,
no, it's not. It's not.
It's
might be good for you.
It's one of those situations where it's not actually saving anybody any gas.
No,
anywhere. It's not doing that at all. It's making the vehicle worse. But you checked the box off. The government said you had to do this, so now this box is checked off technically, and it's just a pain in everyone's ass. And we're just gonna act like it's okay.
Yeah, 10 things I have to do when I get into my car.
Yeah. Which reminds me, there's a bypass harness that I need to order for mine and just get it done with. And all it does is hold the last position that you have
it's an on-off on.
Yeah.
Every time it sees the car turn on, it goes, doo, doo, it presses the button for you.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, but still.
Yeah, that's because this one, it was said like, whatever, if you leave it off, then it's off. If you leave it on, then it's on.
So, little known secret, an RR or an RR2 from iData, if your car has stop start, you go into the programming and you tell it to remember where stop start was previous.
Yeah,
that's built into the module.
That's the ticket.
Yeah. So anyone that has an aftermarket radio with an RR and has stop start and they hate it, you just turn it off in iData.
Well, you know what I've noticed, and I've noticed this in multiple cars, even when you turn the auto stop start button off, the engine still deactivates cylinders. Like, you can tell that it didn't just shut it off though, and it doesn't have to restart. But there's something going on that I'm not sure.
Well, it's a Chrysler, so
yeah. Well, also the Mercedes has done it, and the Hyundai.
Yeah.
So like,
it's good fun, man. Good fun. Things we hate.
I mean,
tariffs, stop start, red
hats. Jeez, sorry.
It's okay.
Allergies been killing me since June 11th.
Well, at least you're not as sick as you were.
Yeah, now it's just a cough, and I went back to the doctor twice.
Jesus.
And there's like, there's nothing wrong with you. So, okay, cool. I'll just die then.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Bye.
Exactly. Oh, man.
All right, so no show next week.
No show next week. Okay.
I'll be on an airplane. Actually, I will. Actually, I'll be on an airplane.
Mobile Solutions bound.
Yeah, Mobile Solutions bound to go huff sawdust. Hopefully, I won't have to do any sawdust. I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm looking forward to it.
I need to do a box building video myself, but I'm not looking forward to it. It's been a minute.
I just have to step back and like this and go, man, that's pretty. You guys are going to learn a lot today. Go Wayne Harris for the win.
Yeah, maybe he'll bring the. Didn't he get the curse out?
I don't think it's done yet.
Yeah, probably not. It looked like it had been sitting. So,
yeah. Swizzle sticks. Yeah, it's hot there. That's okay. It's hot here. So your hot is better. I do have to bring chapstick though, because I dry up like beef jerky, man.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But
It's like the Mario levels hot there. Like where the
yeah.
sun
Oh no,
shines.
it's silly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there in June. And
Yeah.
it sucked.
Yep.
But it happens.
Here, especially in Florida, it's like it's so humid it's trying to boil you from the inside. Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to hear more shenanigans about all kinds of shenanigan stuff, tune in to the next show.
Yeah. But we're talking about a poop cruise. And Dean went on a cruise.
I did go on a cruise. And there was no poop. But
that's good.
Spoiler.
That's great.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.